what are we and what are we here for? The reason why this is so important is because the answer to these questions, I feel, gives our life meaning. It's the story that we tell ourselves and our understanding of our place in the universe and in context of the spiritual worlds that really give meaning to our lives. And I feel like this is a story and an understanding that used to be a narrative given by religion. But especially in the last 100 years, we've kind of lost that story to a mainstream science narrative that is quite disempowering, I would say.
Or even sometimes soulless.
Soulless, exactly, right? It's reductionist in it, and I feel like the result of that has led us to a disposition of overwhelming nihilism and lack of purpose. And so, to start off, what I want to ask, Dan, is how is the new physics that you and other people are a pioneer of? How is this bridging science and spirituality in a way that helps tell us a new story about ourselves and what our purpose is as humans?
Well, as you know, recently we have taken up the banner, which is becoming famous in conventional medicine, in fact, that cold plasma is profoundly therapeutic. And as in our Therify.net, which is our plasma tech rejuvenating in 20 countries, pretty cool, and it's working, and it proves the physics. And that sort of suggests something else, that what are we doing? We're feeding the aura. Well, what is your aura? Well, it is your cold plasma. And is that what spirituality has been calling your ghost or your spirit or your soul for how many 100 years? And in fact, it appears we can measure where that goes at the time of death. So in fact, the ability to feed your aura, what the Egyptians called fa'atun, feed atun, from which we get our word fatten, is in fact a sense of purpose, because if we understand what our aura is accomplishing and how it survives death and what goes through death, we in fact get a sense of our own immortality from conventional physics that in fact confirms spirituality in a beautiful way, and possibly provides an antidote to the desperate, as you say, nihilism or soullessness of a culture which is increasingly mechanical and artificial intelligence, and, let's all be machines, and isn't that cool? And oops, where does compassion and spirit enter a machine? It doesn't. So if we realize the importance of feeding auras as scientists, we suddenly can discover more about the purpose of the human condition, and I'm about that, yes.
So let me double click a little bit on that. So you're talking about our own immortality and an understanding that our plasma is what we have long called our ghost, and that there's scientific validation for that idea, and that immortality is the ability to continue to inhabit this plasma with our consciousness past the point of death. How, through this understanding, how can we understand how our decisions that we make today in the world affect not only our individual destiny, but the destiny of the collective and the cosmos?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for asking the right question. Not only can you determine which broccoli you should eat or who you should kiss by deciding whether it makes your aura bigger or smaller, but you can also decide whether you're going to expose yourself to Wi-Fi and 5G and electrosmog based on the death of your aura. If you understood the physics of what actually makes you vital and immortal and what you take through death, you literally can do what Kurt Vonnegut had difficulty with in Breakfast of Champions, which was asking the question over breakfast, which was whiskey, which is what are people for? And people are actually for this possibility of gaining the kind of aura which is potentially immortal and sustainable.